I've got another tent I'm going to show you today, and this definitely is a good cheap alternative for the solo backpacker that wants to stay within the ultralight class. The Ozark Trail one-person ultralight backpacking tent. I think you'll be impressed with this tent for a $40 tent. Let's set up the nest on this tent and take a look at it. Right out of the bag, first thing I noticed is it does have some pretty lightweight, kind of a shepherd's hook style stake, and they are very light. And the pole system for this tent, getting away from me, is a hubbed anodized aluminum pole system. It's not the lightweight DAC pole system like I've got on some of my more expensive tents, but it's still pretty light. This tent is a freestanding tent, and since they make claims of it being ultralight, what I'd like to do first is put the poles together, and we're going to weigh just the nest and see how much it weighs. Let's weigh the nest now and see what kind of weight we got. £2 2 ounces. 2 pounds 2 ounces. That's pretty respectable for an inexpensive tent, isn't it? Let's put the rain fly on and take a look. I've got to look a minute. This is a brand new tent. I still haven't staked it out, and the main reason is I want to weigh it with the rain fly on it also. Alright, I've got 3 pounds 3 ounces. That's not bad. Advantages of a freestanding tent, you can move it around. So I moved it over into the shade a little bit where we get a little better look at it. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and stake out the nest. Alright, so let's just kind of walk around the nest and take a look. You see, you got a pretty good bathtub floor all the way around it, and then even above that you've got something that will kind of prevent the weather from splashing in, so that's not bad. Okay, here's a shot of it from the inside, and you see it's a fair amount of room for a one-person tent. That's not too bad. Just inside the door to the left, you got a little stash pocket right here, mesh pocket. That's not too bad. First thing I do is cut the tags out of it, get rid of that. So anyway, that's not bad. You also have a nice amount of headroom right there in the center, and man, you got some nice views around you through this tent. Let me get out the tape measure and let's measure it. Alright, we're kind of looking at it upside down, but you can see we've got 83.5 inches. That's 6 foot 11.5 from the far end. So up here at the head end of the tent, we've got 46.5. Well, that's not bad for one person. You can see at the foot end, we've got about 26 inches. I've got my old trusty thermarest in there, and you kind of get a better idea of the interior space. You're not really cramped. You've got room to store a few things in there with you, possibly your backpack or some other gear. Let's hop inside and take a look. It's not bad. I'm inside the tent now, and you can see the little sewn-in pocket I was talking about. And for one person, I've got a fair amount of room in here. And if you also notice, this door is like a double-sided door. This little spot here, you just barely see through. you can unzip that, and I'm going to assume with the little loft pocket up there at the top, you can stash that inside. Let's try it. Now, you can see what I'm talking about. We still have our no-seam mesh door closed, but that other little door unzips and it flops right up there at the top and stashes. Now, why would you have that when you're completely surrounded by no-seam mesh? This is just a nest. I think I've got an idea, and we'll check that as soon as I get the fly on. Alright, before I put the fly back on it, I want to give you a chance to look and see how much headroom you've got in here. I'm 5'9", and I can sit up very comfortably in here. What y'all didn't see before when I put the fly on it just to weigh it was how the fly attaches. And you've got these quick disconnect buckles. You can adjust your tension. Okay, now here's the tent with the rain fly on, completely fastened down, and you do have a vestibule. The vestibule is staked out. Here's a look at it with the vestibule door open, and you do have a small vestibule. I don't think you could cook in it. You might could, but you do have just enough room where you can stash your hiking boots, your backpack, whatever. Save that room for the inside if you wanted to. But I'm telling you, this tent's looking really familiar. If you look at the outside of the rain fly, you've got plenty of tie-off points. And it's pretty windy today, but this is a brand new tent. I'm not going to undo everything. This is just more or less for review purposes. But you unfurl all of these, and also here on the tail end of the tent you have one. I think you can stake this tent down and withstand quite a bit of wind. Now from inside the tent, do you remember that little solid door we looked at when it was just the nest? If we close that little solid door, we can leave the front of the vestibule open, and we're still going to get a little bit of ventilation through the front between the rain fly and the nest. So it's not a bad idea. We've got our little door closed now, and you've got privacy, plus you've still got ventilation. Now with your little privacy door open and stashed up there in the stash pocket, the zipper works real well on the no-seam mesh. But when you close your little privacy door, the zipper is a little bit finicky. Then you're going to have to help it along. Now aside from this little loft that you've got up here to stash your doors when your door is open, you also have a small little ring up here that you could use to tie off maybe a headlamp or something. Alright, well there you go. This is not a bad little tent, is it? And if I was going to grade this tent on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 4. The only reason I wouldn't give it a full 5 is because the stakes are pretty soft. I bent the stakes just pushing those in by hand, so those would probably have to be replaced. When you close the little privacy door, the zipper on the privacy door is a little bit fidgety. You got to kind of help it along. And man, if it wasn't for those two things, this sure seems like it's a bulletproof little tent. So for 40 bucks, man, you're not going to go wrong. And I think the people that are out there that are really trying to save on some money or just getting into hiking and backpacking, you might really want to give this tent a try. As always, I hope that helps you a little bit. I appreciate everybody watching. And I got one final little note. Stay tuned for my next video. That's going to be a 100 subscriber giveaway video. And I've got more tents than I know what to do with. So this is what I'm giving away. This is a bulletproof little tent, it looks like. So I think it'd be a good tent for somebody. If you're interested, keep watching for my next video. This is Walmart's